Hey everybody, it's me, Angel Benton, and it is time for another edition of Angel Sudsy Recap, where we delve into the world of daytime television and we do a few reality shows on the side. And one of those reality shows that we are doing is The Real Housewives of Auckland. So the episode that aired this past week was basically all about this girl's trip to Port Douglas, Australia. I don't recall 100%, but I think that is also where the Melbourne Housewives went season 1 on their trip. No, they went to the Gold Coast. They didn't go to Port Douglas. They went, or is it the same? I don't know. Whatever. Anyways, it looked similar. It looked real tropical. And what I found very interesting about this past episode was that um do Kiwis think that they're better than Australians? Like, for some reason, do they think that they're like an upper class of Australians? I don't understand that. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just curious if that's the case. Because there were certain comments that were made, like, I mean, obviously, you know, I don't think that Lou would have gone there because if she thought that, because or else she wouldn't have gone there, right? And I don't think Anne thought that too, but I mean, it's just a little. So Angela was like, when I got there, the room, I think she said the room smelled or it was damp, and she was like, well, it is Australia. Okay. And when Michelle was trying to pack, and Gilda was like, yeah, they're pretty casual over there. Are they not I mean, okay. They don't ever dress up, or New Zealanders or Kiwis aren't ever casual. That just seemed kind of it just seemed a little bit like classist shade was being thrown. Just a little bit to me, right? Okay, so let's talk about, first of all, I love intern Leah. Like, she might be my new favorite character on the entire show. I really enjoy her a lot. Want to know why I like it? This is why I like Leah so much. I like Leah because she works very hard at her job. I've been there. The job isn't exactly what was described when she took it. I've certainly been there. So I like the fact that she is busting her chops, busting her balls for Angela, right? Now, here's the thing about Angela. She's a Looney Tunes. She's definitely a wackadoodle. But, I mean, at this point, I don't think she's like a malicious wackadoodle, right? She's not like specifically, I hate the girls or anything like that. She's just crazy, right? And at this point in the show, basically, the only people we feel sorry for is Leah, right? Because that's her boss. But, all the other girls, they've all pretty much kind of just put up with it and dealt with it, right? And that makes sense. Yeah, so she did bring Leah on this trip. So it was so weird because they had all the girls and Leah. 6 girls and Leah. And all the other girls were like, why the fuck are you bringing your personal assistant to this event? Why? That doesn't make any sense. But she did. So it's just kind of weird. It's a little strange, right? But she's like, she said, I've got to keep the business going. I've got so many. It's just the telephone, it keeps going off. Well, that could be. That could very well be. However, I haven't heard the phone go off one time this whole episode. So but then again, Leah wasn't with them the whole time, you know. And just, you've got to put on your English accent. Hello, this is Leah for Angela Stone. I mean, if I was a housewife of Auckland and she was there, I mean, she would definitely try my patience, but I suppose I would probably limit my interaction with her, so I guess it wouldn't be that bad. She's not that bad. But let's talk about Julia. Okay. when Julia first started on the show, yeah, she was a former teen actress. She was a former Miss New Zealand, whatever, right? I mean, I guess that's a big deal. I mean, she wasn't that famous of a teen actress that I knew who the fuck she was, because I sure the hell didn't. I had no clue, right? Like I said, the only person I knew who she was Louise. Everyone else, I had no clue who any of them were, right? So, it's fine or whatever. And she has married a guy that's quite a few years older than her. Like, I think he's like 35 years older than her. Like, he's, no, well, yeah. And then Gilda married a guy that was like 50 some years older than her. So, I mean, here's the thing about the girls and this is actually something that I love about the girls, actually, is that, Angela was talking about, yes, I had an affair when I was 17 and I was in a relationship and he was in a relationship with someone else. And they're like, oh, was he married? And they're like, oh, goodness, no, he was 20. And they're like, oh, God, 17 and 20? They're like, that doesn't count. That doesn't count. That was like, did you even know what you were doing? I mean, really? So, but to me, I'm actually going to stick up for Angela here. To me, I mean, Angela is right. She was dating an older guy. But here's the thing, at that age, at 17 and 20, that's actually a very large difference back then. When you're younger, even the smaller years, because you're still growing and maturing, and so there's a whole gap of maturity level between a 20-year-old and a 17-year-old that is not as present between like a 30-year-old and a 33-year-old, right? Because they were like, oh, God, he's the same age, right? But I don't know. I definitely call bullshit on that. But I definitely give the other girls, they have their games on point, because they were like, that's not older. Like, they have done older guys. Good for you. You better get it. You better get it. So I thought that was absolutely hilarious that they were just unapologetically like, oh, honey, you have not dated an older man. Oh, sweetheart, you might think he's older, but really, he's really your same age, really. So, I mean, like, that was pretty fierce. I got to give them credit for that. That was pretty good. Okay, so yeah, so Julia is, she's kind of showing her true colors, and the other ladies are seeing it, right? So, for example, Michelle made a comment that she doesn't trust a flip-flopper, because Julia says one thing to one friend and then says the other thing to the other friend. And I've noticed that, and the viewers have noticed that in the show, Like, for example, the whole thing with calling Gilda a gold digger. She's the one that said gold digger, right? Anne never said the word gold digger at first. It was Julia. And then Anne clarified to make sure that she heard her correctly. And then Julia went and told Gilda that Anne called her a gold digger. That, first of all, wasn't completely accurate. Second of all, that wasn't even true. Like, I mean, that was kind of some shady, I'm stirring the pot shit right there. It really was. And then there's the whole thing with Louise. I don't know why she got so upset with Louise. Now, granted, there might have been stuff that happened off camera that we didn't see. So I'm willing to, okay, so she's pissed off at Louise. She goes off on Louise in her acting class, and I don't understand that at all either. Like, if I had a problem with someone, I wouldn't wait until, like, let's say I had an issue with anybody at the team building exercise I had yesterday. I would never call them out in front of everyone like she did. Well, it wasn't everyone. It was Michelle, but it was also the acting teacher. And Louise had specifically set up this private acting lesson for the three of them, right? So, she was spending this money for these girls, and then she rips Louise to shreds in front of Michelle and this other guy. And I felt bad for the guy, because I was like, I know he was like, oh my God, oh wow, what have I done, right? What have I stepped into? So it's just kind of, so when she's talking about, she's talking about Angela to Michelle and Gilda, and they're like, we don't fucking trust her. We're not gonna tell her shit. And now this isn't just Julia. This is everybody. everybody made such a big fucking deal about sharing a room. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Seriously? I mean, it's funny because Ramona and Sonia would have picked, they probably would have picked it. Well, I don't think they would sleep in a twin bed. I don't think they would, but they, you know what I'm saying? Like they like to share. So they specifically, and that's not good either, right? I mean, it's not good the way they go about the rooms either, but I mean, I just think the American Housewives are a little bit more, I mean, like, who cares about hotel rooms? Like, who cares? It's a hotel, right? Are you paying for the trip? Then just enjoy it. Anyways, that seemed a little bit spoiled to me, a little bit. Anyways, thank you so much for logging on today. I do appreciate it. Please feel free to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Angel Benton. You can hashtag RHOAKL or Real Housewife Shit to talk about the Real Housewives of Auckland. Or you can hashtag Bold and Beautiful to talk about the Bold and Beautiful. And I'll be talking about the Bold and Beautiful portion of the fan event I went to last weekend on the next recap. And you can hit that subscribe button on my YouTube channel to get my YouTube videos sent to your inbox every single day. Thank you so much for logging in, everybody. Have a great night. Peace out. Wubba, wubba, wubba.